Have you ever wondered what would happen if the Philippines banned e-shopping platforms like Shopee? It's a question that might seem outlandish at first, but let's delve into the hypothetical for a moment. Currently, e-shopping platforms are a significant part of the Philippines' retail landscape. They're not just popular, they're integral to the way millions of Filipinos shop. From the convenience of buying groceries while sitting in traffic to the thrill of scoring a great deal during a flash sale, these platforms have transformed the shopping experience in the country. But imagine a world where overnight these platforms are banned, gone. No more Shopee, Lazada, or Zalora. What would that look like? Firstly, the immediate impact would be felt by the online stores. Thousands of businesses, big and small, rely on these platforms to reach customers. Without them, these businesses would face an uncertain future. Could they adapt and survive, or would they have to close their virtual doors? Then there's the issue of employment. These platforms don't just facilitate sales, they create jobs. From the tech specialists who keep the websites running smoothly to the delivery drivers who bring packages right to your doorstep, a ban on e-shopping platforms would put countless jobs in jeopardy. But the ripple effect would not stop there. The logistics industry, heavily reliant on the constant flow of packages from these platforms, would also take a hit. The same goes for advertising, customer service, and even the banking sector, which processes the millions of online transactions that happen daily. So what do you think would happen to the millions of online shoppers in the Philippines? Would they return to traditional brick-and-mortar stores, or would they find a new way to shop? And what about the sellers? Would they be able to adapt and find new ways to reach their customers? These are questions we'll explore as we delve deeper into this hypothetical scenario. So stick around as we venture into a world without e-shopping platforms. It's a fascinating, if somewhat unsettling prospect. So what do you think would happen to the millions of online shoppers in the Philippines? What would be the immediate effects on the daily Filipino shopper? Let's dive into this intriguing thought. Imagine your routine day where you click a few buttons on your phone and voila, your desired items are on their way. Now take away this convenience. Suddenly the ease of online shopping is gone and you're back to traditional shopping methods. A ban on e-shopping platforms like Shopee would mean a return to the old ways, a stark contrast to the click and deliver world we've grown accustomed to. Consider the time and effort saved by online shopping. It's not just about the comfort of your home, but also the freedom to shop at any hour without worrying about store timings or traffic. It's about having a world of products at your fingertips, from groceries to electronics, fashion to furniture. Could we easily step away from this convenience? Then there's the impact on physical stores. With online shopping out of the picture, there would likely be an increase in foot traffic at brick-and-mortar stores. This could potentially boost their sales, breathing new life into local businesses. But it's not all rosy. Think about the crowds, the queues, the struggle to find parking. Not to mention the inconvenience of having to travel to stores, especially for those living in remote areas or with mobility issues. Consider, too, the environmental impact. Would a ban on e-shopping lead to more cars on the road, contributing to increased pollution and traffic? Or would the reduction in delivery trucks and packaging offset this? The ban's impact would be far-reaching, touching every aspect of our shopping habits. For some, it might be a welcome return to a simpler time, a chance to reconnect with local businesses. For others, it might be a frustrating step backwards, a disruption of their daily lives. But what about those who rely on online shopping for their livelihood? That's a question we'll tackle in our next segment, so stay tuned as we delve deeper into the ripple effects of such a ban. What happens to the thousands of online sellers who depend on these platforms? Now that's a question that's bound to stir up a storm. So let's dive right in. Imagine for a moment, you're one of the countless people in the Philippines who've turned to online selling as a primary or secondary source of income. You've set up your virtual storefront on Shopee, carved out a niche for yourself and built a loyal customer base. Life's good. But then, out of the blue comes a ban on e-shopping. What happens next? The potential loss of income could be staggering. Many sellers, especially those who rely solely on these platforms for their livelihood, could find themselves in a precarious position. Imagine a scenario where overnight your online store, your source of income, simply vanishes. The rug is pulled out from under you, leaving you scrambling to find an alternative. Transitioning to a physical store isn't an option for everyone. The costs associated with setting up a brick-and-mortar shop can be prohibitive. Rent, utilities, inventory storage, not to mention the additional staff you'd need to hire. And that's if you can find a suitable location in the first place. But let's not forget about finding new employment. With the job market as competitive as it is, securing a position can be quite the uphill battle. It's a domino effect of sorts where the struggle of one sector can have far-reaching implications on the others. We're talking about thousands, if not tens of thousands of people potentially being affected here. Families who rely on the income from these online businesses could face financial hardship. The ripples of such a ban would be felt far and wide, touching every corner of society. But it's not just about individual sellers and their customers. The impact of a hypothetical ban on e-shopping would extend beyond personal losses. It's a much bigger picture we're looking at here. And what about the bigger economic picture? Stay tuned as we explore this in our next scene. Could the Philippines economy take a hit from such a ban? Now that's a big question. Let's break it down. E-shopping platforms like Shopee have become a significant part of the Philippines economy. They're not just digital marketplaces, they're economic powerhouses contributing to the country's revenues in multiple ways. Firstly, there's the tax revenue. E-shopping platforms are subject to a variety of taxes, including corporate taxes, value-added taxes, and taxes on their employees' incomes. All these add up to a hefty sum that goes into the government's coffers, helping fund public services and infrastructure projects. Secondly, these platforms create jobs. And we're not just talking about the folks who work directly for these companies. Consider the ripple effect. Delivery drivers, warehouse staff, packaging suppliers, the businesses where these employees spend their salaries, all these are indirectly supported by e-shopping platforms. Now imagine if we were to pull the plug on all that. The tax revenues would evaporate, thousands of jobs would be lost. And the businesses that depend on the spending power of those employees, they'd take a hit too. But it's not just about immediate losses. Think about the long-term effects. The Philippines has been making strides in the digital economy, attracting investments and fostering innovation. E-shopping platforms are a big part of that success story. A ban could send a negative signal to investors, potentially stifling the growth of the digital economy. And let's not forget the consumers. The convenience, the variety, the competitive prices, all gone. This could lead to a decrease in consumer spending, a key driver of economic growth. So it's clear that a ban on e-shopping could have far-reaching consequences for the Philippines economy. It's a complex web of interconnections, and pulling at one thread could unravel the whole thing. But wait, you might be thinking, there must be some potential benefits, right? So is there any upside to this hypothetical ban? Could there be any silver linings if such a ban were to be implemented? Now that's a question worth exploring. As with every coin that has two sides, a ban on e-shopping might bring about certain upsides. For starters, the spotlight would shift back to local businesses. With the online giants out of the picture, your neighborhood stores would get a chance to shine. They would see an uptick in foot traffic and possibly experience a resurgence. The local economy could potentially get a boost, and the sense of community might be strengthened as consumers reconnect with their local retailers. Then there's the issue of reducing reliance on overseas products. With e-shopping platforms out of the game, it's plausible that imported goods could become less accessible, pushing consumers towards locally made products. This could stimulate domestic industries, generate jobs, and ultimately strengthen the nation's economy. But a total ban on e-shopping does seem rather drastic, doesn't it? Perhaps there could be alternatives that address the concerns without going to such extremes. One possibility could be implementing stricter regulations on e-commerce platforms. This might involve more rigorous checks on product quality, tighter rules on delivery and refunds, and increased transparency on pricing. Another alternative could be better consumer protections. This could mean stronger laws to protect buyers from scams, fraud, and substandard products. It could also mean establishing a more effective system for resolving disputes between buyers and sellers. Then again, these are just possibilities. In reality, the outcomes would depend on a multitude of factors, including how well such measures are implemented and how consumers and businesses adapt to the changes. Remember, this is just a hypothetical scenario, but it's always fascinating to explore what-ifs. Subscribe for more intriguing content and keep wondering. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.